Let me bring in the One Nation leader, Pauline Hanson. She joins us live from Queensland. Good to talk to you again, Pauline. Now, you've seen a lot of Prime Ministers come and go. Have you ever seen one duck issues as much as this bloke?
No way in the wide world. In my 27 years since I was first elected to Parliament, he is the worst. He is pathetic, incompetent, hopeless, and he's just... I got no more words for it. You know, I didn't particularly like Bill Shorten, but I tell you what, I would swap Bill Shorten for him in a heartbeat. And apart from that, the 20-odd years prior to that, when I first started voting, I've never known a Prime Minister to be as hopeless as what this one is, and he's put his hopeless ministers around him. Well, I hope he's thrown out on his ear, Chris. It's unbelievable.
It is quite incredible. Now, there's a global issue at the moment when we talk about the Middle East war. Every sensible nation has got a role to play in this. Everybody has to have a view on what the International Criminal Court has done. We know what Joe Biden has done. He's been very strong. Many other countries have as well. Anthony Albanese wouldn't say anything about it yesterday. We haven't heard from the Foreign Minister. We've had Chris Bowen, for crying out loud, and the Treasurer, Jim Chalmers, sort of dabble around the edges. We don't know what Australia's foreign policy position is on this crucial issue at this moment.
He won't want to say it anyway, because I tell you what, 29 seats in this country, in federal seats, underpins the Muslim vote. That's why he's not going to come out and say anything about it. And a couple of these ministers are actually relying on the Muslim vote. This is the problem with it. It's become political. It's about who's going to win the next election.
So he knows it's wrong.
Safe by not coming out against it.
He knows it's wrong. He knows he should criticise the ICC, but he doesn't want to do that because it could cost him votes in Muslim communities.
That's my opinion. Yes, it is. And Dutton was right in what he's saying here, that we need to look at our position in this. You know, we're a state party to the Rome Statute, and that underpins the ICC. Chris, I've said this all along. We need to look at our involvement with the UN, with actually the WHO, with all these organisations, the Convention on the Refugees, this with the ICC and other organisations. We're a big enough country now that our domestic laws here should underpin what we stand for, and not having these other international organisations telling us what we should be doing.
Yeah, it is pathetic. I fear that you're right about the electoral sensibilities here. It is a worry. I want to get your thoughts, too, on Anthony Albanese saying that he's not rushing off to the polls. He doesn't want to go to an election until he's solved the cost of living crisis. If we wait for that, he might be Prime Minister for a decade.
Chris, that's not... Look, how I read this is we've got a Queensland state election in October, which I believe that Labor will be thrown out. He either goes the end of August, September, before the Queensland state elections, otherwise he won't go till about April, May next year, after the Western Australian state elections, because they're going to lose seats over there as well. I think Albanese being Prime Minister means more to him than anything else. That's why he's made the statement he's not rushing into it to actually go to an early election. So he is on the nose. The fact is that he will see out his time as Prime Minister as long as he possibly can. I can't see him going to an early election. And as far as cost of living, if you listen to what the survey said, 1,500 of the financial clients said that 1 in 5 are actually living with candle or torches, 1 in 10 are actually going to use bathrooms or other facilities. They're actually going without food to feed their kids. They're in fear of losing their jobs, a roof over their head. It is absolutely deplorable, the state that our country is in at the moment, and I blame this government. People have to understand that the debt we're in this year is about $895 billion. We paid $19 billion in interest alone. So the surplus means absolutely nothing, because over here they're borrowing more money, we're paying more interest, and we can't supply the services to the people who dearly need them.
It's a hell of a worry. Thanks for joining us, Pauline. I appreciate it. Pauline Hanson there. She mentioned the salvos. We'll be catching up with the salvos.